Here's a good one. What traits should conservative women be looking for in men and vice versa?
Ooh. I know one of the questions deals with, do you want to, I was going to go off one of the questions that talked about the apps, but I think women for looking for their future spouse needs to hone in on the fact, is he going to lead you closer to Christ or further away? Make sure you're equally yoked. That's so important. Make sure that you are not looking for a man who, or, you know, the men that are just, they're grabbing the low hanging fruit, meaning on the apps. Women get upset when they go on a date with a guy they found on an app and all of a sudden they ghost them, or all of a sudden they're just not communicating with them anymore. To me, it's because the guy didn't have to hunt for them. Not saying they have to hunt for a woman, but they do have to seek out a wife. And since they didn't have to, they made it so easy on an app to just press a button.
Vice versa.
That's
Likewise.
really hard.
I will say women should look for men that have self-control, and men should look for women that are willing to submit, which is basically a non-feminist woman.
Right. But the whole topic of submission becomes, that word really lights people on fire.
I know. It's biblical.
I know.
I mean, women
It's
should,
beautiful.
wives-
Marriage in the right context is so beautiful because your husband will give up anything and everything for you in a healthy manner, but they will literally love you and honor you and cherish you above all, and put all the noise aside and focus on wife, children, family.
Daisy says there were quite a number of questions on submission, so
Okay.
dive more into that.
Okay. For me as a wife, my biblical role is to be the helpmate to my husband. That does not mean I'm less than you. And that does not mean that I am above you. Thank goodness. I love that you lead our home. I love that you are such a, you are so intentional with your faith, and you are so intentional with just how you are as a father and a husband. But as a wife, I am to quote unquote submit to you, which is a beautiful word, by the way, because that's the order of how it's supposed to go. And God will bless that. I am not to try and rival you. We're on the same team. We complement each other. The body, an eye is supposed to be an eye to see. It's not, you can't expect an ear to see. There's certain things within the body that operate how it's supposed to be, similar to marriage. I am the wife. I am in charge of certain things, guardian of the home, helping with the children, help. That is so I can make it easy for my husband to do what he needs to do. There's a balance there. It's not, and then you get into the people who are saying, well, my husband's abusive. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the beautiful sacred marriage of when you are at the altar, you become one with your spouse. And the problem is that I feel as if some women, after they have children, they lose that fire that they got at the altar, that fiery spirit of this is the man I've been praying for, and they get burned out because of the kids or because of circumstances. And then it's like, oh, submitting to my husband, that sounds exhausting. It's supposed to be liberating. It's supposed to be freeing. You are in charge of what you're in charge of. Your husband's in charge of what he's in charge of. And it's supposed to be a beautiful marriage of a teamwork, and symbolic within biblical marriage, and symbolic within how God and Jesus and everything, just your whole faith is supposed to operate. So submission's a beautiful.
Yeah, it says so. Hear a lot of struggle with that topic of submission from women you talk to.
Yes and no. Yes, from the women who are not strong Christians, who are just more of in the world trying to figure out and navigate their marriage based on that standpoint. But I think it goes back to what you were saying. The men need to be prepared to take on that role. That's not a light role to carry, being the leader of the home. So I think what happens is men who aren't prepared for that season of life, they leave the metaphorical pants on the ground. And so the women come in and put those pants on because they feel like, I have to be this role, I have to play this role, and I need to be the provider, or I need to, and also too, I think mom guilt falls into it too, of like, I'm not providing for my family. If they worked in the workforce prior and now they're a stay-at-home mom, which is a huge blessing to have that opportunity to raise your babies like that. I think that they feel as if they're comparing their season to other people's. And so that's where I think, you get the moms and wives that are not wanting to submit. But I think the husband needs to always be in a position of understanding his biblical role as well, for that to all, mesh together. And even if the husband understands it and reminds his wife, or the wife reminds the husband, like, let's pray together, let's recenter our relationship and marriage to make it healthy and Christ-centered. It's important.
Erica, do you ever get hate from Charlie's work? How do you handle it? Charlie, do you ever feel guilt, or do you ever deal with guilt when Erica gets hate? No, I don't.
I honestly, this is how I know God made us for each other, because anytime I do get quote unquote hate, it's the same stuff you get. Like, I don't even want to say, it's not even worth saying it or repeating the things that were called or the names that were called. But yes, I do. I've lost family members. I've lost friends, but I actually am kind of grateful that that's happened, because God has pruned my life in a way where I am surrounded in a circle now by people who love us, support us, pray with us, encourage us.
Small, mighty circle.
And that's what I would much rather have, a small, mighty circle than a massive one. It's the people that, that you can trust and pour into. And yes, do I get hate? Bring it on.
Exactly.
I'll have a velvet steel spine by the end of my life. So bring it on. I have nothing to fear.
Yeah, I mean, like we get a lot of hate, we get a lot of death threats, but just part of life. It makes you stronger.
Right.
And honestly, if you are out there and you aren't getting a lot of hate, then
what are you doing?
Well, yeah, you're not doing anything that
No,
bothers Satan.
exactly.
You're just being boring. You're probably honestly doing the bidding of the enemy.
Right.
So women are becoming notoriously pickier than men, though.
Right.
It's a big problem.
They have a CVS receipt length checklist of what they want.
There is a growing theme that women are actually grading. They say they're unhappier with the dating pool right now than men.
I can see that.
They say, and part of it, by the way, is incredibly superficial.
But are men unhappy with the dating pool of
no,
women?
not as unhappy as women.
I think women, you know what's
And
interesting?
somewhat superficially said men aren't attractive.
I know, but I'm thinking about all of the way how we grew up, of how romanticized they made finding your future spouse. Like, you're going to be so in love, you're going to be swept up, and these flowers are going to be flying around you, and you're going to be so like butterflies in your stomach. And so I feel as if when people don't feel that immediately, they're like, oh, this person's not the right one, or they're just, I don't know. I think they're caught up in what they're supposed to. That just, I mean,
Is there
important,
like a
but
Christian Tinder? Does that exist?
I don't know. You have an ad for it.
Well, it's like a matchmaking service, I think.
I don't know if there's a Christian Tinder, but matchmaking services I heard are not the best.
No good.
Yeah.
Oh, it's called Christian Mingle. I don't think they're a sponsor of our thing, right?
No,
Isn't
not
there like
them.
Farmers Connect too?
For farmers.
Yeah, no, I think there's like there's like Mormon Mingle too.
There's Mormon Mingle.
Yeah, no, there's definitely. Yeah, Dallin probably knows all about it. Not anymore.
What?
But,
Yeah, I was gonna say no. It's taken.
Terrell and the gang probably know all about it. No,
Mormon Mingle?
I think there's Mormon Mingle. Yeah.
What? Ask your local pastor.
What you prioritize is what you get. And
Right.
so if
I'm
you-
looking for my future spouse.
If you prioritize trying to find a spouse, you're much higher likelihood to find one.
But as women, you need to take care of yourself in order to. You can't be looking like Adam Sandler and expect that you're going to.
And men, just figure out ways to make more money. I don't want to say it's not that hard, but if you work hard and apply yourself and obsess, you can make more money and you will be more
But like you
attractive to women.
say, stop spending money on alcohol. Stop
Of
playing
course.
video games.
Invest in yourself. Learn more. Be scrappier. I don't want to say it's easy because it's not necessarily easy.
Right.
But it's easy to not be poor. Men will find a greater pool of women if they increase their income.
Right. What's your favorite memory pre-kids, post-kids?
Going to Israel, definitely.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
I loved that. Being able to walk, because before I met you, when I went previously was with my mom on a pilgrimage, and the whole time I was there, I was praying for my future husband. Didn't know it was you, and we were both in Israel at the same time. But anytime I could find a place to put a little piece of paper of a prayer in a hole in a wall, that was me, and that was me praying for you, and then I got to go back with you. It was surreal.
How would you tell young married couples who are going to start having families to prepare/ready their marriage for the changes that come with it?
That's a great question. Okay, first and foremost, always remember to put your spouse first.
Get premarital counseling.
Premarital counseling. Put your spouse first.
Save money.
Save money. Oh, instead of investing in a bunch of clothes that they'll grow out of really quickly, they should have how people do honeymoon funds?
Well, these are young married couples. Got it. Not single ones. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, no, that's good.
Yeah.
So instead of doing, how they do the honeymoon fund, they should do a fund where it's overnight help if they don't have a family member to help them.
I totally agree. I think that wedding directories, there's so much money wasted. Like, oh, I want a blender. I want a knife.
Right.
And my experience, most people don't even use all that stuff.
No.
It should just be, give us money. Just give us money, and it will be honeymoon fund or save money fund. We did a honeymoon fund, and it was great.
Yeah. More tangible side for a female perspective, make sure that you don't get so hyper fixated on the birth process once you're about to have a child. Like, don't be so fixated and obsessed with, I am going to have a child on my couch, in my living room, free birth, no drugs, and then leave no room for God's will if that totally does not happen. Because I know we had a birth plan, and the only thing that went to plan on that birth plan was that we had a child.
That's right.
Everything else
We had a great
went out the window.
We had a great OB. May he rest in peace. Terrible story.
It's so sad.
So what young married couples, look, keep your faith obviously first, and try to identify any fleshly problems that you might be having. So if the wife might have a gossip problem or a spending money problem, or the husband might have an alcohol problem or a pornography problem or a drug problem, don't welcome kids into the world. Well, I should say, you always welcome kids in the world, but try to get those things settled before you enter kids in the world.
Like, love your husband, love him so much that, and understand and hold in your heart that God has put you guys together for a reason to have a beautiful family, and children are a blessing from the Lord. And don't forget your husband in the process, and don't forget your husband in the chaos of having kids. Now we can go to the next one. What should be the order when it comes to God, kids, and marriage, and why? I just kind of
Well, it's God first, then marriage, then kids.
Right.
And look, it's how God has wired us, and it's our nature, which is to have children, not just have a bigger bank account. Next question. What means the most to Charlie coming home from the battlefield? What means most to Erica when Charlie is at home? I'm not quite sure I understand the question.
I understand the question. Charlie will text me and say, keep things boring.
Yes.
So anyways, keep things boring so that he can be on the battlefield and not be mortified when he comes home.
This is a good one. How much did you guys discuss religion, finances, politics, how to raise children before getting engaged? If I could just chime in on one of them. Men, you should be completely in charge of finances.
I totally agree.
And your wife should have nothing to do with it. They can have input, but you should release that burden from your wife and just take care of all the money.
I have to say, having to provide for just as myself as a woman, having to provide for yourself, especially because when I was living in New York City, it all fell on me. It's exhausting. I love the fact that I can relinquish that role to my husband because he's so good at it, but relinquish it to him and say, I trust you so much. I know you're going to help provide for our family. That is one less thing I have to not deal with. I've watched my mom have to deal with that while she had her own business, and she was my mom and dad in one package because my parents got divorced when I was really young. But to be able to relinquish that to you is so liberating. And I can focus on other things that are way more important because that's your domain and I don't have to worry about it.
And if you are marrying a man that is not capable of completely and totally handling the finances, then you should not marry that man. Finances will break a marriage quicker than anything else. Period.
But what?
Exactly what that is.
Okay, but then what about the women that are the ones that write the checks and do the bills? And
Good luck.
Yeah.
I mean, it can work. I'm sure it has, but I see those marriages careening for divorce quicker than anything else. Here's why: we as men are hardwired to produce for the family. We find meaning. We find purpose. Tucker would talk about this all the time. He would I'd have the worst day ever, but I'd know that today I'm paying for tuition. Like today, my kids' tuition are being paid for. I can't
Right.
pay. And for men, we find great purpose in being able to come back home, being like, we provided for all of this. And some people are able to
Right.
juggle imbalances of nature, but
Your husband has to
odds
be
are
the one
against
that goes out into the world and builds and battles and comes home, conquers, comes home and is like, this is my nest egg. This is what I worked so hard for. And the wife is like, welcome home, babe. Whatever you need,
you.
we're
Financial
here.
burdens should not be brought into the concern of the wife. It should.
Well, then it bleeds into the kids, and the kids are like, oh, I can't afford to do
why
this.
am I
because-
being so firm on this? Because I know the number one reason why people cheat on their wives and why divorce happens is financial. It is number one. It is the number one thing. It collapses and breaks apart marriages more than anything else. And so if you have a husband that leads in it, and it's not that, again, it comes easy to me, but guys, don't borrow money. You just start with that principle. You're not going to have any credit card debt. Now, you can use credit cards, just pay them off every month. And the only other debt that's acceptable is a mortgage payment. If you just start with that principle, you're going to be in a much better spot.
But how is that?
I will add to that men have a much longer horizon of waiting than women. And what men need to get equipped for actually might not be as natural. Women can make very good mothers with almost no training. It's just at 23, 24, women can make good mothers.
Equally yoked.
Next question. How would you wait well for a spouse?
First of all, this is more of like a health standpoint. Get your blood work done every 6 months.
Don't have sex before you get married.
Don't have sex before you get married. Really be intentional about growing down before you grow up and out, meaning make sure that your heart is so rooted in Christ. Make sure that you're reading the Bible every single day. Make sure that you're in a position where you're living your life that he has to seek God in order to even be able to touch the slightest bit of your heart. And make sure that you are taking good care of yourself. Again, don't dress well. You're not going to attract someone if you're not looking your best. Not saying you have to look like you're on a red carpet every single day, but take care of yourself. If you can't afford to get your nails and hair done, that's fine. There's still ways to make yourself look like you care about. I'm not saying from a prideful standpoint, but be grateful that God gave you the body he gave you. Be grateful that you're healthy. If you're not healthy, that you have doctors in your life to help get you there. Just constantly be grateful. There's always something to be grateful for, and just find a way to be able to get yourself in the proper mindset and headspace of knowing that you are so intentional about this time and you're in a stream of significance rather than focusing on what everyone else has. And you are in a position where when and if the man has sought you out and he will tell you, I am intentional about this. I'm not trying to beat around the bush. I want to date you and I want to marry you. When it's that type of guy, you will know and you'll be ready. You won't say, oh, I don't know about this. Like, you will be prepared. Just take care of yourself.
What do you think about schooling for kids? What are you planning on doing?
We will be homeschooling, especially in the beginning. At first, I will be honest, I was horrified thinking I am horrible at math and geometry, but I'm excited. To some extent, I'm excited. And this is why I think that women lose a portion of their brain capacity after every single kid. It's because then you get excited to homeschool your kids and you get to relearn everything all over again. And you're excited about learning about triangles and octagons and proper grammar all over again because you have that brain space to do it. And you're excited. So we will be homeschooling. Plus, we want to travel with the kids. And plus, to be honest with you, I do not want to deal with kids going up to either of our children and being like, I hate you because of your father.
Eventually, once they get old enough, they'll get into school.
Right,
Maybe
exactly.
6th, 7th, 8th grade maybe. But
right, especially for sports, too.
We also travel a lot. But I encourage everyone, if you can homeschool, and if you can't homeschool, I would love to know the reason why.
Or you can do pod schooling, where you have a teacher come to your friend's house and you all kind of
That's right.
share a teacher.
I love you.
I love you too. That was really short and quick, but we have more questions to go over.
It was a full episode.
Wow.